Hi everybody, my name is Harindra and right now I'm just going to present you how to set up Free5Gc in the Vagrant environment and to create the complete testbed and to visualize the particular testbed in the ViewScope. This is the total agenda of today's demo. Coming to the first part, I have already created a doc where all the steps are clearly noted. And if coming to the first thing, the one thing is like you need to get the source code link where you need to get all the deployment scripts, everything ready for the free 5gc deployment process. And I can have a quick go through about the script once. Just give me a minute, I'm just going through the script. Yeah, this is the drive link where all the scripts are already mentioned. So this is the main source code what we are using for setting up free 5gc in our own local environment. So you can see that there is a vagrant file which you can use it to make your vagrant box up using this vagrant file. And if you go to this particular shell folder, there is free5gc compose, which is mainly used to run the docker compose command. Mainly docker compose is the command which is used to up multiple pods at the same time using the same, just a minute, like the same makeup file. You can do the multiple pods at the same time. That's what the main basic thing, that's what in the code here. Now we'll go step by step procedures how to start this particular vagrant container. Along with, I will also show you how it reflects in the wave scope. Now, to make the Vagrant run in your laptops or in your systems, you need to set up Vagrant and a VirtualBox and a Git Bash. So I have already pasted a link which will give you a detailed instruction of how to set up Vagrant and VirtualBox and Git Bash, which is already mentioned in the Google Doc whatever presented. And you can I'm going through it once so you can have a brief idea about what it's saying. Like you all know, Vagrant Box is nothing but you can see it as a virtual box to run on your laptops, such that you can use any OS or something for that particular box. Coming to run the Vagrant Box, the first one you need is a virtual box. That's another software, and the Vagrant software and the Git Bash. So it is already clearly mentioned here. These are the three softwares you require. And if you go to step-by-step installation guide, I'm just explaining you for Windows, and the same follows for everything Mac and Linux. So if you follow the step-by-step installation guide, what it will do is like first it will download the first step is to download the git bash. It's just you can click on it, then it will download the git bash to your PC, and then you need to download your virtual box. Further, just click on this link, you'll go to a virtual box downloading page where you can go for, mine is Windows, so I just selected Windows, then you will get the Windows download, then you need to download it. As I already did it, I am not repeating it again, but it's a straight away procedure. Just follow the steps mentioned. Once the VirtualBox you are able to download, then just download the extension packs 2 as mentioned in the document here. And once that is done, download and install this Vagrant particular from the direct link from Win. And then don't forget to enable all these options whatever specified. It's just like a setup environment variables like thing, so you don't need to bother much, just follow this procedure as it is. Once this is done, just try to give vagrant hyphen hyphen version in your git bash. If it is able to reflect you something, then I can show you what it will reflect for your convenience. Yeah, if it mentions you some vagrant version, then fine, you are having a vagrant in your laptop, then you are done with all the vagrant download. Coming now, you have it for the Linux and the Mac, you have to follow the same procedures. Once that is done, these are the basic Vagrant commands what you can do with Vagrant. Like Vagrant up is to make the Vagrant box up, and you can give any name for Vagrant box whatever you are going to up it. And Vagrant SSH is like to connect to that particular Vagrant box shell. And you can do Vagrant destroy yeah, you can do vagrant destroy, which can kill that particular vagrant box. You can do vagrant halt, which will halt that running of the particular vagrant box, but it won't destroy it. So these are the basic commands regarding vagrant. So once you are done with this, then you are having all the setup ready to make the Free5Gc installed in your laptop. So the next step is like you need to download the particular source code that is mentioned in point A, and then in that particular source code, if you see, there is a folder called Free5Gc Compose. So you just need to go to that Free5Gc Compose in your terminal, and then you need to run vagrant up. If that is done, then you need to run vagrant SSH. For a detailed instruction, I am just running it on my laptop. You can have a look over it. Like you, I have already downloaded the code here, and I'm just at Free5Gc Compose folder. Right now, I'm just giving vagrant up command. The basic use of this command is to make the vagrant box up along with all the components whatever I specified in the vagrant file. So just I will run it, and in the mean, yeah, it will take around 5 minutes if you are running around the first time. In the meanwhile, I'll just go through what it will do in the code flow. Just give me a minute. I can explain you like this. Like this is the Vagrant actual folder, where this Vagrant file is nothing but the boot up file for this particular Vagrant. So if I open this particular file, you are able to see that the host name is Free5Gc and I'm installing Ubuntu, and the version box version is this one. Network, I mean, I'm forwarding my port to some 5000, and network forwarding port to 4040. These and all is there. Along with it, I'm just giving a pre-config.sh file to run before the Vagrant up, and then to reload the Vagrant box with post-config.sh. So I'm just going through those pre-config.sh. Just give me a minute. So if you open that pre-config.sh, where you will install all the required components into it and the Docker into the Vagrant box. So the basic thing is like all the network components, we are using it as a Docker pods. So to run those Docker pods, we need a Docker software in the SSH box. So that's why we are just installing the Docker and everything here. That is the main thing. And once that is done, this complete script is will be run, and then it will just reload the Vagrant box, and then now it will run the post config.sh, which is present over here. Now I'm just opening this particular script, and everything is like you need to clone that particular whatever the GPT or everything whatever you want, and you are installing it and everything. But you can see at the last, you are just going to Free5Gc Compose folder, and you are making docker hyphen compose up hyphen d. Just I want to explain about this particular command, where docker hyphen compose, it will run docker compose YAML file, where you can specify multiple pod details, whatever the specifications you want including in that pod, and it will run that particular file to make all those pods into a single network. So if you go through the same thing, like I can show you that particular folder location. So this is the folder location where the docker hyphen compose will work now, and this is the docker compose YAML file. You can clearly see, just now I'm opening it. Yeah, and here you can check like the version of the particular docker is this one, and then the what are all the services you're going to up. These are all the services, and this is the network specifications that this particular whole uh, config have. So I'm just going through services one by one on a outer view. You can see here you have UPF with all the what command should be run at the booting time of UPF, and you have a MongoDB, and then you have NRF, you have AMF. If you see AMF, you have AMF cfg.yaml. So this particular command you are running when the AMF pod is booted up. And if you go through a little bit down, you have multiple names: SMF, and you have EDM, UDR, N3IWF. These are all the components in the core network of the 5G networking. And if you see it's an UA ransom you have, where you have two YAML files. So these are all the things that it will run, and the complete network will be built up once the Vagrant app is completely run. So this is the main explanation behind how this Vagrant app will work right now. and we'll wait for some more time. Just I will have a look at it. Yeah, it's still running, so we'll have to wait for a few more minutes to get the Vagrant up. Yeah, hi. If you see now in the Git bash, I'm able to see my Vagrant is completely up. And if you're at the stop, I mean, at the end of the script, you can see that everything is created, like all the different network components. So now there are two ways to check whether all the components are up or not. One thing is like you can have to go to ViewScope and you can check, and the other thing is like you can connect to the particular mm, shell of the Vagrant to check whether all the pods are up or not. So the first step, what I'm doing is to connect to the shell of the Vagrant, and then I will show you how to check the all the pods are running or not. So to do it, I am using the command vagrant ssh, which will connect you to the vagrant shell. So you can have just a few seconds. It will connect. Yeah, if you are see, it is like vagrant at the rate free5gc. This is nothing but our vagrant box. I have already shown you in the vagrant file that this is the name of the vagrant box, whatever you're using right now, and the same name will be conveyed here. So now here already Docker is installed because I already shown you in the script that it is installing Docker and it is running all the pods in the Docker. So now I'm just checking my Docker pods right now. So if you give Docker ps, it will give you all the running pods. So if you are just checked it here, like this is your ransom, and this is particularly is called Docker container, and this command is nothing but the first command what you need to run when you are booting up the particular pod. And you can see multiple things about this particular pods, and these are the images of that particular pod, I mean based on which the pod is raised. So these are all the different network pods what we raise for this particular Free5Gc component. So now the next thing what I want to just show you for a quick demo is like how to connect to a particular Docker pod to check what it's doing inside and what are the files stored in it. So for that I am just taking for a demo purpose this UE ransom. You can see that 2ed25 something blah 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 is the container ID. So the command what we should use is docker exec hyphen it. It is like to run it in a detached mode. So just I need to remember the container ID 2ed25 and then sh. If I run it, it should connect to me. So you should give su for the admin purpose. Now you are in the UE ransom container. Now you can see like ls there is config. So if you go cd config, now you have a different YAML files, and this is how the whole setup is. I mean, setup is done. So this will make sure that everything is ready for you right now. And the other way to check all these things is to go to viewscope. Before going to viewscope, don't worry about all these commands. I already make a clear document here which I will share with you guys in the latter time. So everything is documented here, like how to make the vagrant up, this is the command, and how to connect the vagrant shell, this is the command, and how to check all the pods, this is the command. And then the what are the I mean how to connect a particular pod whatever you want. So this is particular command I have already shown you in video what is the container ID is. So all this is done. So now if you want to connect to the view scope to visualize all the, because you already know like if you want to check whether all the pods are running or not from here, it is very difficult for us to visualize like what are the pods are missing. So if you want to check it, you need to count all the pods and tally with the names. So the other software that we already been installed in it is the ViewScope. So it is also a separate software that we are installing in this particular Vagrant box. The main work of the ViewScope is to monitor this particular network and check what are the pods running over here, and to also show you the connections between pods if they are only TCP. Right now HTTP is not supported by it, just remember. So the next thing is like I'll show you the I mean how to visualize on ViewScope. Just you need to open on ViewScope. It is already given on 4040 port. And then if you see on the ViewScope, you can check, see all the different ports whatever you have are present over here. Like you can see AMF and AUSF, UERAN SIM, and everything. If you want for a clear understanding, like I can show you. If you are in UERAN SIM, if you go to config, you have gnbcfg.ml and uecfg.ml. So the same thing you can do it from the view scope also. Just go to click on the UERAN SIM, and then this is the terminal. So now if you click on ls, you can get all the config. If you click on cd config, you can go to config. See, you can see the same files over here. So this is nothing but a UI terminal where you can access that particular UI ransom shell. So this is one of the easiest way to access those without having any knowledge about Linux and all. So this is one way, and you can see there is a line between these two boxes. That means these are connected by TCP. I mean only by TCP, and these are all the different components in the net. So this is how our free 5GC network is completely set up in our local, and this is how you can view in the viewscope. Viewscope also offers different other features, like you can check all the processes that are running, like like NRF or PCF, all the different processes, or you can see the same ports by different DNS names, different things you can do, and what are the images you use for these ports. So you can check everything from this viewscope dashboard itself. So this is how you can check whether your free 5GC network bed is completely done or not. So if you come to the doc, whatever I prepared, I have given you the complete link to the source code and the detailed explanation how to set up Vagrant, VirtualBox, and Git Bash, along with the commands required to Vagrant app, to connect to Vagrant shell, and to the required basic Docker commands. And also I go through a gist of Viewscope and how to use Viewscope to visualize all the Docker pods running. So for this demo, I think this is an app thing, and we are done with setting up and running the free 5GC dashboard and test bed. So this is done. Thank you.